You guys know those reels? The reels where they talk about white people hiking versus black people hiking. And in the first clip, there's a group of white people and they're hiking this beautiful mountain and the scenery and everything. And then it changes to the scene of black people hiking and there's no one there. Like there's like a person on the screen and they're like, ha 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 ha, right? They're funny. It's funny. But things like that continue to promote the narrative that black people don't hike. Black people don't do outdoorsy things. And it's just not true. When I go out there, I'm going out there to experience like the peace and solitude and connection. But the reality is that as a black backpacker, doing these things comes with a little bit of worry or concern. So let's get into it. Hi there, my name is Kalani. Welcome to my channel, Outside with Lonnie Shots. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you found me. And if you're returning, welcome back. Today's topic. Y'all know I don't really like to talk about race. I really don't. Like, we're all human, right? But recently, you guys know, I backpacked the Pemi Loop in New Hampshire. And some things happened there that made me realize I should probably do just like a short little video on my experience as a black backpacker. Yeah. When my friend Monica and I arrived at the trailhead, we were told we needed to check in with the visitor center and the rangers. Cool. So we did that. And when we were talking to them, they were very nice. They asked us a ton of questions, a lot of questions. So they asked us if we had a paper map and if we knew how to read it. They asked us if we knew what the temperature was going to be up in the mountains. They asked us if we had a plan for what we would do if we didn't make it to our destination, because they didn't want to have to come up and rescue us. They asked us if we had bear spray, but also said that it was good that we didn't have it because they wouldn't want us to use it, because when you spray the bear spray, the wind blows and it could get back on us, and then all of that. And they suggested that we carry our phone and ID on us just in case we had to drop our packs if the bear decided to go after us. So those were some of the questions and things that we talked about with the rangers. And I didn't think anything of it. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And in my brain, I was like, maybe they ask everybody those questions. You know, it's their job. Make sure people are safe out here in the backcountry. As we were hiking and talking with other backpackers, we quickly realized that they didn't receive the same type of questions that we received. And in fact, there was two guys that were hiking. One of them had never been on a backpacking trip, but when the rangers saw them, they said, "You guys look like you know what you're doing. Y'all have fun." Yeah. These are some of the things that I experience while I'm backpacking. And I'm not mad about it. You know, right now, I guess it is what it is. But if you're new to backpacking and hiking, I just want to make you aware of some of the things that you might experience, to not let that deter you from getting out there and enjoying the beautiful creation that God has made for us. Most of the time when I'm hiking or backpacking, I never see anyone that looks like me. And that's okay, because I don't care. I am officially a part of the I Don't Care Club.
Hello to all new and existing members of the We Do Not Care Club.
Okay? I don't really care. I got over that a long time ago. And if I was someone who waited around to see people that looks like me doing those types of things, I probably would have never gotten into hiking or backpacking, because I just didn't see it. And it's not as common, but that's okay. I had this internal thing that just like wouldn't let it die. It was like, I need to do this. And so I got out there and I started hiking and backpacking, and I'm so glad that I did. But if you're new to this, it's okay. You might not see anybody that looks like you, but please do not let that deter you from getting out there. There's a strange duality when it comes to visibility, because on one side of the coin, you're kind of invisible because no one expects you to be there, right? Because we don't normally do this thing. But on the flip side of that coin, you're kind of hyper visible because you stand out. And, you know, I felt stares before. They're not always like hostile or mean stares. I think sometimes maybe it's just curiosity, but I can't help but think, I wonder what they're thinking. Some other things I think sometimes is, do they think I'm lost? Do they think I'm brand new to this? Do they think I'm a danger? Now, as a woman, I don't think like that too often, but I do know that, like, my husband, those thoughts come across his mind sometimes as a Black male. And so that moves us to the internal dialogue that I sometimes have in my brain. Even though nobody says anything, there is a voice that goes through my head and says things like, should I be here? Is it safe for me here? If something goes wrong, is somebody gonna have my back? Oh goodness. And I mean, it's not paranoia. I don't like to view myself as someone that's like paranoid that something's gonna happen to me at every turn. I think it's just protection. And it's something that's been built in me growing up as a Black person here in America. Yeah. I think about, you know, who's at the campsite that I'm thinking about going to? Dang, somebody's there. I don't know them. I don't know if it's safe for me. I'm gonna keep hiking. That happened to me. There was a campsite I wanted to camp at when I was here in Texas, hiking at the LBJ grasslands, and there were spaces around, but I didn't want to camp there because I didn't know these people, and it was like a weekend and they could be anybody. So I kept hiking more miles, even though my feet were so tired, just so I could get to a spot where I'd be alone. Because if I'm by myself, I don't have to worry about another person, just maybe some animals, right? I'm okay with that. Other things I think about are if there's a car approaching, because sometimes on Texas trails, there are like dirt roads or service roads that go through, you know, or go near a trail. And I wonder, you know, the car that's passing by, are they slowing down because they're curious? Or are they slowing down because they have other intentions? These are honest thoughts that come to my brain, but I don't let that deter me. I still continue to hike and backpack. I think that I definitely rely on my intuition, and I use that. Like, God gives us spidey senses for a reason, and if we lean into that, it'll allow us to keep ourselves safe and get out of situations that could be dangerous. Now, I will say that I'm very grateful that in my hiking and backpacking career, I don't remember a time where I've had a truly negative experience. And that's amazing. I do think that out on the trails, for the most part, besides this one incident that just happened in Arkansas, y'all, did you hear about that? About the husband and wife that were killed at the state park? I was literally planning a backpacking trip. I wanted to go hike the Eagle Rock Loop, but I heard about that and I was like, I might have to push Arkansas back. Anyway, that's beside the point. Most of the time, when I see people on trails, they're very friendly. They say hi. We have small talk conversation. What trail are you hiking today? Or where are you headed? Or whatever. And it's good. On a lot of the Texas trails, they're also hunting trails. So I've, you know, walked past men with guns and things as they're hunting, and they see me with all my stuff and they're like, oh, are you training for something? You know, whatever. And I haven't had a bad experience. I will say there have been times where I say hi and maybe somebody just looks at me or they just say hi. And I try not to overthink it or think, oh, they don't like Black people or whatever. I normally, like I said, give people the benefit of the doubt and just say, oh, they're probably having a bad day today. And the majority of the time I do feel like trails and campsites are those spaces where you don't think about color or religion or your political stance. You're just there to enjoy nature like everybody else. I'm grateful for that too. If you are a person of color and you're interested in getting into hiking and backpacking, please do so. It's such a wonderful and amazing experience. I would hate for you to not go out there and try it and experience because you don't think you'll see anybody else that looks like you. That's okay. Do it anyway. Just be safe and cautious and do your research, know where you're going. And I feel like 9.9 times out of 10, you'll have a great experience. Thank you for watching this video. Like I said earlier, this is just my experience, or this has been my experience thus far. I would love to hear your experience on trail and how it's gone for you, especially if you're someone who hikes, who doesn't see people that look like you. Share it. Let's encourage other people to get out there and hike and backpack. If you can relate to any of the things that I shared today, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. But no, share this with someone who might be on the fence about getting out there and doing this. Maybe this will help them to realize that it's gonna be okay. You got this. Anyway, I will see you guys here next time for another video. Y'all have a good one.